Murder she shabba murder she wrote. Labba shabba la. Murder she wrote. Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Good evening. Friday night. We're here and we're here. So I'm back, man. I came back again today, and I figured we could just check out. We haven't done Nancy in a while. Just pop in because there's been some developments with the Alec Murdaugh case. And I remember somebody was telling me, somebody was telling me in the thing, they were like, it's not Alec, it's only Alex Murdaugh. And I just feel like the Murdaugh is some made up pronunciation that people do sometimes in the English language. People just make up what's fucking silent. Who decides what letter is silent? And who's the what's the word, arbiter? Who decides, oh, this is just silent? That's just because it is. Like, who invented this shit? Is it the person that came up with the word? Who decides what letters are silent? I feel like that's some rich people shit too. You just make up whatever, however you want it to be pronounced, you just make it up. And so if I want to say Alec, I'm going to say Alec because he's already doing this weirdo shit of Murdaugh. All right. So that's why I say Alec Murdaugh. And some people too, they get upset when I play Nancy. I haven't played Nancy in a while, but just like, no, I don't want her. I'm sick of Nancy. No, I'm unsubscribing. You know? So Nancy does say Murdaugh, right? Mrs. O, Miss O. So I figured, okay, there's a couple things going on. Let's look at some articles first, then we're going to get to the Nancy Grace podcast. I also want to play this video when he was questioned about his financial crimes, because the thing is, I thought he admitted to the crimes, right? Wasn't he there on the stand, took the stand, and I thought he like admitted, like he did do this stuff and all that. So now he's pleading not guilty. I know the answers to the letters are silent. Kayla, what's up? So let's start with something. I don't even know where we're gonna start. I don't even know. You see, I'm showing my face now a little bit more often. Try to get back into the habit, and then we'll work on everything else. So this article here, Alex Murdaugh pleads not guilty to swindling dead housekeeper's family. I like the title. He was sentenced to life in prison. And the other thing too, I was like, when I was looking at the Nancy Grace thing, he already has a life sentence, right? If convicted on federal charges, 480 more years could be added to his current sentence. For what? Like, what's this purpose? I guess maybe it's just for justice for these people, right? That have been swindled and whatever. But like, damn, how much time are you going to add on to this guy? And that's so true. The boat case is coming up too. That's not all of Alex's legal woes. He will soon be deposed in a high-profile wrongful death suit against him. The family of Mallory Beach filed suit in connection with the March 2019 death of Beach in a boating crash. Lord, damn, bro. Paul Murdaugh was at the helm. And so why are they suing him for that? I forgot. What you drinking? I'm drinking some seltzer water. Some really good stuff. I like it a lot. It's refreshing. Mo says, even I know he's guilty of the financial crimes. We all saw the evidence. More evidence than actual murders. I know. How do you pronounce tongue? Tongue. Tungu. Tungu. Tungui. Tongue. I think it sounds like it's said, like you spell it out right. Tongue. 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 The G silent. Oh shit. Tongue. Tongue. No, I think it's kind of there. Your chat's repeating. I feel like YouTube, why don't they fix that issue? I feel like ever since they switched the chat to the new thing, it's not working properly. But anyway, so do they have a video for us? Can we watch a video? I like coloring books.
I went to work that morning and I received a phone call from my wife that Gloria was injured, seriously injured, and asking me if I could come home. So, upon arriving, found Gloria, my wife, my son Paul, and my employee Ronnie Freeman on the, we call it a patio for lack of a better term, landing area at the bottom of the steps. Gloria was there, sitting up, big pool of blood, a lot of blood on the side of her face, and shortly after I arrived here, EMS arrived and tended to her.
Okay.
And by the way, with this whole Gloria Satterfield thing, they're saying that this guy has like changed the story. The 57-year-old mom of two who had worked for the family for around 20 years was reportedly discovered in the grounds by Maggie Murdaugh suffering from serious injuries. The family said that their employee had fallen down some steps outside the house. A recording of Murdaugh discussing the tragedy with insurance adjuster Bryant before the payout showed that he had claimed to have had a conversation with the dying woman before she was taken to the hospital. She indicated that the dogs had caused her to fall down the stairs. He said the conversation was a lie, Murdaugh admitted this week. In documents relating to the case obtained by NBC, Murdaugh now says no dogs were involved in the incident. He said he invented the whole scenario to force his insurers to make a settlement payment. Damn. That's kind of sus.
And were you able to speak with Gloria before she was taken away in the ambulance?
I was.
Okay. Did you ask her what happened?
Sure, I asked her what happened. I mean, the first thing I was making sure that Gloria, I was trying to assess her mental capability at the time. Did she know where she was? Did she know what was going on? That type of thing. And, you know, asking her if she knew me. Did she know Maggie? Did she know Paul? Did she know Ronnie? Did she know where she was? So
how was she responding to those?
She knew those things. She knew where she was. She knew who I was. I mean, she obviously was not functioning at full capacity, but she did.
Why don't you just go down I think you said you have 4 dogs.
4 dogs. We have Bubba, who is a yellow lab, and he's the oldest. Estimate that he's probably 6 years old. We have Bourbon, who is a chocolate lab, who I estimate is probably 1.5 years old. Maybe younger than that. I'd say 1.5 years at the oldest. We have Blue, who I estimate is 1 year old. Blue is a Labrador poodle mix, so a Labradoodle. And then we have Sassy, who is a German short hair, who is no more than 6 months old.
Okay. And in particular, I think you had expressed that Bourbon, the female chocolate lab, I believe she was purchased from Lazy Lab Kennels, and we're gonna button up all that data. But she had been away at a obedience school. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And how long had she been back when this incident occurred?
I believe that when this thing was going on, I think it had been a day. I think she had been back a little more than a day.
Okay. And when you were talking with Gloria before she was taken away, did she describe the chain of events in any way to you? Obviously, she was out of it.
She indicated that the dogs had caused her to fall.
Okay. And she was at the base of the front steps.
She was.
When you arrived.
My understanding was she was sitting on the base of the steps when I arrived. Now, my understanding from my wife, when she found her, she was unconscious, and her head was on the landing area, and her feet were up the steps.
So she was upside down.
Well,
almost.
I think she was laying on her back or on her side, but her feet were up on like the second step,
Yeah.
and her head was on the ground. So she was literally on the steps with her. Never had any issue with any of the dogs being vicious or aggressive in the sense of violence or biting or attacking or any of that. And the problem is, and why we sent Bourbon to obedience school is, as I told you earlier, she would, she's so hyper, she would stir, all the dogs get stirred up and they compete to be petted and to get attention. And so, what I'm assuming happened is when Gloria pulled up, the dogs are, rushing her.
For affection.
For affection. And
Not aggression, but affection.
And Bourbon had only been back for a day or so. So, the way they all do when Bourbon's here is different than they do when it's just them.
So, and he pleaded not guilty to 22 federal financial crimes, including accusations he defrauded the estate of his former housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield. And my friend was telling me, too, that, his lawyers are trying to get his confession thrown out as inadmissible. The allegations are not new. The former South Carolina attorney is already facing state indictments on similar counts related to the theft of $4 million in insurance payouts after Satterfield fell on the stairs of the Murdaugh's home in 2018 and later died. Disgraced attorney of stealing nearly $9 million from his former law firm, vulnerable clients, and IRS. Loud. He's serving 2 life sentences for fatally shooting his wife, Maggie. And there's people out there that still don't think he did it. They think it was the 5'2" people? The Southern Carolina Mafia, or the Southern Carolina cartel that took a hit out. They think they got the wrong guy. And so, he denied any involvement in their killing and is appealing the conviction. However, when he testified in his own defense, he admitted to stealing from clients, settlements, and other financial schemes. So I want to play that clip too. Here, I think this kind of shows a little part of it. This was crazy when he took the stand.
Candidly, in all of these cases, Mr. Waters, that I took money that was not mine, and I shouldn't have done it. I hate the fact that I did it. I'm embarrassed by it. I'm embarrassed for my son. I'm embarrassed for my family. And I don't dispute that I did it. I
understand that.
Skeezer. So I'm a little confused. They're going to be able to use this against him, right? They can use this against Murdaugh.
This is something. What's the date on that one?
I'll bring it back to you.
Well, you can tell me. I trust you to tell me accurately.
Harry Potter said, what if it was infants wearing platforms?
Well, it's kind of funny. It doesn't have the date on it, but I'll let you take a look at it.
The Lollipop Guild?
All right, I'm just looking at the date of a check. So that's December 20th. So that goes 2011. So that gives us a ballpark. So that's 12 years ago. For me to sit here and tell you specifically that I remember sitting down and talking with Natasha Thomas, I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you, and I can tell you that.
Yeah, I love when he's doing that. Like when somebody's telling you bullshit. You ever done that? Like somebody's a liar, fucking telling you all these lies, and you're just like, He did that a lot.
didn't do right. But specifically that I remember sitting down and talking with Natasha Thomas, I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you, and I can tell you that I didn't do right by Natasha Thomas. I took money from Natasha Thomas that didn't belong to me, and I was wrong for doing that.
Okay.
And I admit that.
All right. And I know, Mr. Murdaugh, that you would like for it just to be as simple as that, just to say, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I stole money, and have that be the end of it. But in every single one of these cases,
To the comment, Your Honor.
you just testified that you would like to just admit that and make this quick, correct? Isn't that what you said? Isn't that what you implied?
No, sir, Mr. Waters. You have charged me with murdering my wife,
He just said to make it quicker.
my son, and I have sat here for all these weeks listening to all this financial stuff that I did wrong, that I'm embarrassed by. I'm happy to talk to you about as much of that as you want to talk about. I'm required to talk about it as much as you want to talk about it. But the fact is I cannot specifically remember sitting down. The details that you're asking me for, I can't tell
The bullshit.
you. But what I can tell you is that in all these financial situations, I stole money that was not my money. I misled people that I shouldn't have misled, and I did wrong. I can tell you that. And I may be able to tell you specifically in some instances what I did or didn't
Tell
do.
us.
All right. Well, good. Well, we'll do that.
Oh, shit.
But
Gonna break
the
it down.
point that I'm asking you is it's not just as simple as some paperwork. You had to sit down and deal with these people and convince them that you were telling them the truth in order to steal this money, correct?
That may not be true
I
because
love what he was doing here because he's just like he's implying it and saying like, just like you're sitting here, you lied to those people, look them in the eyes, just like you're sitting here looking the jury in the eyes.
in some situations, I may not have had to do that. They may have just trusted me to do it.
Okay.
So that's my point is I misled them. There's no question about that. But did I sit down in each particular instance and like you're breaking it down step by step? I can't say that. I can say I did wrong. I stole money that wasn't mine, and I shouldn't have done it.
All right.
And it was terrible what I did.
All right. Well, let's look at stage 330. This is
I was gonna play a snippet of this other thing too. I think we just listened to this part though. Let me see this deposition. I wanted to get the part after. Murdaugh.
On the spotlight. Now, disgraced attorney Alec Murdaugh was found guilty of killing his wife.
I love when they do that. There was a disgraced attorney. Disgrace. They got to add that shit in there. Like their producer put it in the script. Make sure they put that in there.
And his son Paul in cold blood. Now, although Alec Murdaugh's career as a defendant is far from over, if you recall, during the trial, we heard testimony about the family's housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, and her mysterious death on the Murdaugh's Moselle property. Now, her son, Tony Satterfield, testified he never received the millions of dollars in insurance money that Murdaugh guaranteed him while serving as the Satterfield's family attorney. Let's take a look back at some of that testimony as well as what Murdaugh had to say about it while on the stand.
you said your mom had a trip and fall at Moselle at their property,
Yes.
and she go to the hospital.
Yes.
Was she ever able to tell you how she tripped or anything like that?
No.
I remember lying to Tony Satterfield, and I remember looking him in the eye on many occasions.
And lying to him?
Yeah,
Okay. Lying to his family?
I lied to his family. I don't know if I did it in person, but I know I had phone conversations with him where I lied to him.
Now, an important thing to note from that clip is that Tony Satterfield admitted that he never heard from his mother exactly how she tripped and fell. Now, at that time, that was Alec Murdaugh who offered up that explanation about the family dogs that had caused Gloria Satterfield to fall. And the admitting emergency doctor wrote in his notes that Gloria had told hospital staff that she doesn't know why she fell. Now, in new documents released by Murdaugh's attorneys, they claim he lied about the cause of her death in order to eventually steal the Satterfield's insurance money. And it goes like this. On February 2nd, 2018, Gloria Satterfield faints and falls down steps at Moselle in Colleton County. On information and belief, based on the subsequent investigation of her death by Mr. Murdaugh's insurer, Ms. Satterfield's medical conditions and the side effects of medications taken for those medical conditions caused her to faint and fall down the stairs. Mr. Murdaugh is not at Moselle when she falls, but he arrives on the scene before emergency medical services. Now, March 18th, 2018, Mr. Murdaugh informs a Nautilus adjuster that he seeks coverage under his umbrella policy for Ms. Satterfield's death. On March 22nd, 2018, in a conversation with the insurance adjuster, Mr. Murdaugh says that Ms. Satterfield briefly regained consciousness before EMS arrived on February 2nd, 2018, and told him, but no one else, that Mr. Murdaugh's dogs caused her to fall, thereby implicating over $5.5 million in insurance coverage. Now, a week later, Murdaugh gave a deposition while meeting with an insurance investigator and told him that the dogs caused Satterfield to fall.
When you were talking with Gloria before she was taken away, did she describe the chain of events in any way?
Personal representative of the estate acknowledging receipt of the $505,000 settlement from Lloyd's of London and the $3.8 from Nautilus. Now, put simply, the fact that Mr. Murdaugh lied about his own liability for Ms. Satterfield's death to fraudulently obtain insurance proceeds to perpetuate his severe opioid drug habit, while highly disconcerting, is hardly unbelievable given Mr. Murdaugh's admitted actions and financial dealings during this time. It is another chapter in the bleak and dispiriting story of a man brought to his knees by a crippling drug addiction. Daryl, I'll start with you. I mean, I still read.
And the more they argue, the more they're in court, the more money they're making. Look, this seems to me as if Hollywood had two screenwriters, not on strike. One wrote one script that Murdaugh read, and the other wrote a completely different script that Murdaugh later read, and he can't remember because he doesn't recognize the truth if it hits him in the face.
Oh, you mean he wasn't telling the truth?
Oh, well, he might have been telling the truth about...
All right, let's go move on to the... move on to Nancy Grace. Judge. Oh, we can see this real quick, too. This was recent. Appears in federal court.
Murderer Alec Murdaugh pleaded not guilty today to nearly 24 federal charges tied to his alleged financial crimes. WJCL 22 News' Lydia Blackstone.
The dog's assumed for defamation of character.
Is joining us live from the federal courthouse in downtown Charleston. And Lydia, Murdaugh is accused of stealing millions of dollars from his clients.
The defense pleaded guilty or not guilty to 22 financial crimes. Today being a little bit more of a formality. Court lasted less than an hour. Now, no cameras are allowed in federal court, and Alec was brought in through a closed back door, which there was no access to. This not guilty plea comes about a week after he was indicted on charges relating to the alleged defrauding and stealing of millions of dollars from his clients. The 22 counts include bank fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. If convicted of the crimes brought before him Wednesday, at a maximum, it would add 130 years to his sentence. Of course, the former attorney already has a life sentence in prison from his previous conviction in the double homicide of his wife Maggie and son Paul.
And Lydia Blackstone is once again joining us live from Charleston. And Lydia, what's next in this case?
There is a potential for a change of plea. The defense giving no comment, and Alex Murdaugh was transferred back to SCDC. Live in Charleston, Lydia Blackstone, WJCL 20.
All right, let's listen to Nancy Grace, what we came here for. What Nancy Grace got to say. Nancy. See, this audio is usually loud. It's been a while, so let me turn this down so I don't blow your ears out. I'm going to save one notification, too, by the way, for tonight. In case there's like a chase tonight, we can come back later and have fun with that. A judge denied motion to throw out the lawsuit filed by the Mallory Beach family against Parker's Corporation. Alex Murdaugh's estate and the convenience store employee who sold Paul Murdaugh the alcohol the night Beach was killed. Okay. Civil trial. Are we going to be able to see any of this stuff? Can we cover it? All right.
making today's crime stories possible. Thanks Duluth Trading Company.
Download the app today to get all real time. Learn more at
Rise up again and go after the protagonist. That's what's happening here. He's back again. And right now, he is in court. That's right. Alex Murdaugh in court again. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111. First of all, take a listen to our friends at WIS-TV.
Back in a courtroom today for the first time since being convicted of killing his wife and son earlier this year. Murdaugh is making his initial appearance in federal court after a grand jury indicted him on nearly 24 financial related charges. They range from fraud to money laundering. The indictment alleges during Murdaugh's time as an attorney, he came up with 3 schemes to take money and property from his clients. Murdaugh is currently serving 2 life sentences for the murders of his wife and son. If convicted on these federal charges, he could add 480 more years onto his current sentence and be fined up to $13 million.
Money, money, money. And more from our friends at WHNS Fox.
Disbarred attorney Alex Murdaugh set to make an appearance here in Charleston on 22 federal charges. Court documents state the hearing is set to take place at the U.S. courthouse. Last week, Murdaugh was indicted by a federal grand jury on a count of conspiracy to commit wire and bank fraud, 1 count of bank fraud, a total of 5 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and 14 counts of money laundering. He's currently in prison for the 2021 shooting deaths of his wife Maggie and son Paul.
Joining me, an incredible panel. But first, to Jennifer Wood, Director of Research at FitzNews.com. You can find Jennifer on Twitter at IndyGen_. Jennifer, thank you for being with us. He's back. Why won't he go away? Why is he in court?
It's like the gift that keeps on giving, I guess. I mean, I don't think they're done with him. I mean, it's just a maze of criminality that they're weeding through.
You know.
So Flossie says she believes it's going to be August, the trial, and it should be broadcast. And damn. So when is Kohlberger? Kohlberger's in. So we still have time. We can still do it, depending on how long it is. Kohlberger's in October, and Mallory Beach trial was in August. Somebody sent me something too about Sarah Boone. I might have to do a video on that. I don't know. They said some new information. So we'll see. Oh, and I want to show this video real quick. What the Alex Murdaugh trial cost South Carolina taxpayers. Trial of the century.
Trial of the century. And that didn't come without spending like it as well. Receipts show that nearly $500,000 were spent in taxpayer money to bring Murdaugh to justice. Blair Sable was able to calculate those costs. Now, Blair, is this the most the Attorney General's office has spent prosecuting this case?
Well, yes and no, Ralph. A spokesman for the office couldn't say for sure because they usually don't track these costs, but did say that it would be safe to assume so. That being
don't track the costs.
Said there may have been no other options. And in order to find out this number, I in part requested the expenditures and salaries from the AG's office in a Freedom of Information Act request. That $488,000 includes $264,000 on AG costs and roughly $141,000 in salaries for the team as well. Costs from the Colleton County were also included.
Got to be more than that.
Well,
That's it?
$1,000 in salary. That $488,000 includes $264,000 on AG costs. And
$264,000 on AG costs. $141K in salaries. What they get paid? Like minimum wage or some shit? Is that right?
And roughly $141,000 in salaries for the team as well. Costs from the Colleton County were also included. Now, of course, the salaries are fixed, so that would have been an expenditure no matter what was on the docket. And the biggest costs were travel and stays at the local Hampton Inn, which racked up at $192,000. Now, that was one of the unique circumstances of the case. Prosecutors had to step in after the 14th Circuit solicitor recused himself. Prosecutors also spent another $64,000 on expert witnesses. And we showed this itemized list to the former South Carolina Attorney General Charlie Condon, who says, given the circumstances, this spending is entirely reasonable.
Looking at these costs, I do think it's another really feather in the cap.
I mean, they had a whole team. It's not like it was one person. If it was one person, okay, but like it's a whole gang, a team of people. So I would have thought it'd actually be more.
The state of South Carolina, not only did they present a case really well, got a really good result, but they did it in a fiscally responsible manner.
Well, expenditures specific to Colleton County, including the courthouse and the sheriff's office, also came in at $83,000. And even when combined in all, this still costs less than what the defense spent, which according to court records was $518,000, with much more still owed in attorney's fees. Blair Sable, Live 5 News.
Damn. All right, that's interesting.
The thing is, so many crimes. Eric Bland joining me, attorney for Sandy Smith and Gloria Satterfield's son, founder partner of Bland Richter, Attorneys at Law, also co-host of Cup of Justice podcast, which is awesome. Eric Bland, thank you for being with us. Shouldn't you be in court fighting for Alex Murdaugh's victims right now? I feel very honored you're with us. What's happening? Why is he back in court?
Because, one, my partner's going to be there. It's in Charleston, and so I have another engagement this afternoon, so I couldn't make it. But my partner's going to argue in connection with his bond. This is the first foray of the federal authorities taking a grab at Alex, and I agree that this is not the end. There's income tax issues, there's other victim issues, but this is the first foray that the federal government has taken a whack at Alex. I think it's probably they were nervous about maybe some statute of limitations issues, but this concerns the Satterfield case, the Plyler sisters, and the Pickneys. And it was very telling, a lot that happened last week. One is Corey Fleming pled his co-conspirator, but two, Dick Harpootlian made the statement that Alex is cooperating with both federal and state authorities, and he does not believe there will be a trial on these charges, which tells me when Dick used the word cooperating, Alex is talking. And that's all we ever wanted from Alex, is to start talking.
Whoa, wait. You know, Eric Bland, for such a successful lawyer as you are, I think you need to be more specific. Talking, for most people, that means they're actually telling you something. For Alex Murdaugh, it means nothing. Didn't you sit in the courtroom? Wasn't that you right behind me in the courtroom? And this guy, his mouth was moving, but all that came out was trash. Garbage. It was like blah, blah, blah. It was all lies. Lies. I should have taken it straight to the dump. So him talking means nothing to me.
It does mean something to.
And they say he pleaded not guilty. So, I mean, I what? You know what I'm saying?
To the authorities if he provides documentation or proof. Obviously, his words are hollow, and everybody knows that. And it was telling because when Russ Lafitte, through his lawyer, said that he was cooperating, the state immediately came out and said, no, we're not getting good cooperation from him. When Dick made that statement, neither the federal government nor the state government contradicted that. So for this to work, not only does Alex have to talk, but he has to provide the proof or tell the agencies where to find that proof. And I suspect that Alex has information on other lawyers, on judges, and in particular his law firm, because what I have heard is he is very not pleased with the fact that Ronnie Crosby and Mark Ball took a hatchet to his head in that murder trial.
Okay, you're really talking inside baseball. You're not telling me who any of these characters are. In a nutshell, briefly, you're saying Murdaugh is angry because people testified against him in the murder trial. What people?
Ronnie Crosby and Mark Ball, his law partners, went hard at him, much harder than he anticipated. And you saw the cross-examination of Dick Harpootlian against Ronnie Crosby, and it got very personal. And Ronnie Crosby made it personal, and Dick made it personal. And from what I have been told, Alex is not pleased. And so the only way Alex can get any kind of accommodation, and it's not going to be an accommodation where he gets out of jail. It'll be some kind of accommodation where he's serving his time, because he's going to serve it in a state prison. He's not going to be like Corey Fleming and be able to serve it in a federal prison. He has to give good cooperation. And the fact that we didn't hear from Emily Limehouse or Creighton Wooders to contradict Dick is a very telling revelation.
Okay, I'm going to break that down. I think what he's saying is that Alex Murdaugh claims to be cooperating in financial crimes, and that is why he's in court right now. It's happening. Now, this is a federal indictment for money fraud. Why do we care about that when I've got 2 dead people lying in the dog kennels at Moselle, his hunting lodge? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Also, we learn that Alex Murdaugh is going to be forced to answer questions under oath regarding the death of a third person, teen girl Mallory Beach.
Oh, yeah.
But to circle back with high-profile lawyer Eric Bland, I heard you say that your partners are going to be in court today to argue. Did you say bond?
Yeah, well, he's going to be arraigned, and obviously he won't get bond because he's already convicted. But
Okay.
they have to set some kind of bond.
All right. Okay. Enough said. Got it. He's in jail on a life sentence, plus more. He's not going anywhere, I hope. Now, just recently, we learned about a guy up in his 70s, a millionaire, who has a mansion in Algarve, across the ocean, and he actually had hatched a plot with the cooperation of others to escape jail. Let's talk one moment about jailhouse safety. This guy, Alex Murdaugh, will stop at nothing to get out of jail. Jennifer Wood joining me, Director of Research, FitzNews.com. Jennifer, where is the courthouse at which he will be today? It's a federal courthouse, correct?
Yeah, it's a federal courthouse in Charleston. So they'll be transporting him from McCormick Correctional Institution, which is the state penitentiary he's been assigned to.
Please join us now on Fox Nation for a brand new investigation.
KJ, thank you so much. KJ said iCkEdMeL is freaking amazing. I watched it for a long time. I'm not working because I broke my back. Holy crap. How the hell do you do that? Damn. Really bad. So I watched my money. However, Mel was the gift to myself 5 months ago. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I was actually almost going to jump into a members live today, but I didn't. But I will do one again soon. I added more videos to the members live, though, to the members playlist. Anonymous, I did. Yeah, I'm sure. I got a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, no, thank you guys for being with me. And right now, the way I look at YouTube right now is as if like I stopped working out for a while and I'm getting back in the gym. So right now I'm kind of like, what's the word? I don't know. Is that maybe analogy? I don't know. Kind of getting back into YouTube, getting back into the gym somewhat. So yeah, I'm just popping up, showing up, and we'll see what's to come. You know what I'm saying? I know people want a trial, and yeah, but I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Red base, I agree with the stinky L. She did suck a lot. Yeah, Letitia. Yeah, she did suck out a lot of us. Draining, crazy woman.
Parallels of Evil Bundy. Streaming now exclusively on Fox Nation.
Block alerts you to identity threats. He'll forget about the video game you gave him on his birthday.
Wow! Thanks, Grandpa!
But he'll never forget how you invested in his future with the UNest app. For a limited time.
Radio station, even if you're flying coast to coast.
.org. Former homicide detective, having investigated nearly 300 homicides, host of YouTube channel The Interview Room, Chris McDonough, I've had escapees. Now, a perfect time to try to escape is when you're at the courthouse, think Ted Bundy, who jumped out the window of the courthouse law library, or during transport. And I'll use Bundy again. As a matter of fact, when Ted Bundy was being transported to a court hearing, there is some conjecture that he tried to escape, but it didn't work. But that was foiled. Long story short, Chris McDonough, you've got both of those factors weighing in for Alex Murdaugh going back and forth to the jail. Now, I will say this. the federal courthouse, and I was a federal law clerk to a judge for 2 years. It has very tight security. It's like a fortress.
Yeah, and so Nancy, the one thing to always keep in mind is for folks is he's got nothing to lose at this point. Even though, he's playing,
McDonough.
I'm cooperating, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. The fact is, he's convicted for a double homicide. So that puts him in a new level of security risk. And so the courthouse in of itself, the transport position of this is the most important. And then, of course, when they escort, any escorts are going to have to have them shackled on both the ankles and the waist. And then when they put him into the courthouse, they may even put a shock belt on him.
What?
Just to lower that risk in of itself. Yeah. So he ankles, and so playing, I'm cooperating, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. The fact is, he's convicted for a double homicide. So that puts him in a new level of security risk. And so the courthouse in of itself, the transport position of this is the most important. And then, of course, when they escort, any escorts are going to have to have them shackled on both the ankles and the waist. And then when they put him into the courthouse, they may even put a shock belt on him.
Oh shit! Do they have that shock belt? They should have done with Letitia. Court. Let me just try it. Court shock belt. That shit. They got that shit. Shock belt. Stun belts in court, restraint or punishment. Some states control defendants by making them wear a 50,000 volt stun cuff. So they got stun cuffs. That's gangster. Have they ever had to use that shit? Oh, let's see. Can we see that? Sir, sit down. Ooh, defendant receives electric shock on trial. Oh, yeah. I like it. Let's see. Oh.
A Tarrant County sex offender is getting a new trial because he was shocked in court.
Ooh.
He was wearing a stun belt, which works like a shock collar. It's used to stop defendants if they get violent. But in this case, News 8's David Goins reports the judge went too far.
Why?
Judge George Gallagher's courtroom is quiet Wednesday, but the very real aftershocks from a case 4
The
years
very
ago
real aftershocks
are about to land here again. A Texas Court of Appeal says Judge Gallagher misused a court-issued stun belt against a defendant. This is the belt used in Tarrant County courtrooms. It wraps around a defendant's leg. It also delivers an 8-second, 50,000 volt shock to the person wearing it. Graphic examples of what that looks like and feels like are readily available online.
Jesus Christ.
In Texas courtrooms,
That was just an example, guys, so don't freak out. That was kind of dope, though. That was gangster as shit. But this is educational purposes, and they're just showing what the that's just from 1997. Damn, who signs up for that shit as a demonstration?
are readily available online.
Jesus.
In Texas courtrooms,
Dang, you saw he was kicking his feet too. They need that would have been perfect for Letitia.
belt is only supposed to be used to subdue a potentially violent defendant.
The jury has assessed a term of confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal
It means you said you want to try
The
it.
Court of Appeal says Judge Gallagher used the shock belt 3 times on a defendant who, according to the judge, continued making outbursts. That defendant, Terry Lee Morris, ended up being convicted by a Tarrant County jury of sexually assaulting a child in 2014, even though Morris never got to face the jury or his accuser. Here's why. After being shocked the first time, a transcript shows Judge Gallagher asked the defendant, "Are you going to behave?" To which Morris replied, "I have a history of mental issues." "Hit him again," Gallagher ordered a
That's
deputy.
gangster. What? Is that wrong for me to say that? Why are they crying about some sex offender getting shocked? I need that shit. Can I get that for I wonder if, I was just thinking my ex. Put that shit. I gotta remember put this device on her when you start acting up.
Morris says he feared for his safety and asked to leave the courtroom before his trial ever started.
Oh.
The appeals court ruled, quote, "We do not believe that trial judges can use stun belts to enforce decorum. It's a device."
Oh, so they're saying only if they're doing something crazy where they're gonna they're being violent or they're gonna run. They should have had that for what was that parade guy? Daryl something or Daryl Brooks? The guy that ran over all these people. They should have had him on a shock belt. I didn't know they had that shit. That's gangster.
It's meant to ensure physical safety, not a conditioning collar meant to punish a defendant until he obeys a judge's whim. So Morris's conviction has been tossed out, and he'll have to return to Judge Gallagher's courtroom for another trial. Judge Gallagher told News 8 tonight he could not comment, citing judicial ethics concerns. In Fort Worth, David Goins, Channel 8 News.
Damn. So I guess it was bad in that case. Let me see something. I just want to watch one more video. I'm fascinated now by these shock belts.
We're going to move on to it.
I kind of want to text somebody. I'm not going to do it. I was like, yo, can all right. Confessed murderer back in court.
A different kind of courtroom scene right now, and this one is shocking. Literally, a judge ordered a deputy to use a taser on a defendant who kept talking after the judge ordered him to stop, and now the judge is being disciplined.
What? But if it's allowed, but I guess they're saying only for violent. It's not supposed to be for misbehaving in court and stuff like that. I guess if it's like a violent outburst where they need to subdue the person, that would be me. That's why I can't be a judge. So I'd be, shock his ass.
ABC's Eva Pilgrim has the story.
It's literally a shocking moment in court.
Oh, shit.
Maryland Judge Robert Nally caught on camera ordering a deputy.
I'm blocking. Wow. See, I didn't know they could do this shit in some places.
Story.
It's literally a shocking moment in court.
Talking all that shit.
Maryland Judge Robert Nally caught on camera ordering a deputy to stun a defendant in his courtroom.
Mr. Sheriff, do it. Use it.
That's Delvon King screaming on the ground. He was in court representing himself on a gun charge, but at some point during the hearing, Judge Nally appears to run out of patience.
I didn't ask you what your name was. I asked how you wish to be addressed.
In this newly released video from July 2014, King tries to make a legal argument, but the judge orders him to zip it up.
Stop. Stop.
But King keeps talking. That's when Judge Nally takes action.
Shock.
Use it.
The deputy using a stun cuff on King, the electronic ankle bracelet sending a 50,000 volt shock through his body.
It felt like fire went through my back.
The judge now taking a permanent break after the incident, Maryland's highest court banning him from the bench for life.
Wow.
I regret that it ended this way.
Nally pleading guilty to a misdemeanor civil rights violation. The court sentencing him on Thursday to 1 year's probation, fining him $5,000 and ordering him to take anger management classes.
For Good Morning America, Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, I couldn't be a judge and have the stunning option because I would totally use that shit. Wow. Okay. All right. So we stepped away. That's interesting. I didn't know they had that. All right.
Just to lower that risk in of itself. Yeah. So he is still a high risk potential for escape. No doubt about it.
Well, and another thing, who do you think he's friends with? Nuns and priests and virgins? No.
Right.
Other people just like him on the outside that may owe him, that may try to facilitate some ill-fated escape plan. I mean, Eric Bland, I would not put it past him.
I will. No, you're wrong. You're wrong, Nancy. He's not going to do it today because his best hope of ever getting some kind of out is the reversal of the murder conviction. If he tries to escape before that is heard, he's dead meat. So if the murder conviction gets reversed, then there's a possibility on the financial crimes that he provides tremendous cooperation in taking down a lot of people. And maybe he gets a 30-year sentence, and with good time, because it's not life without parole, it may be reduced to, let's say, 19 to 23 years or 21 years. He's 53 years old. He'll get out when he's 72. That's the only gauntlet that he could find himself possibly getting out of prison. And if he tries to escape before that murder conviction is heard on appeal, it's the kiss of death for him. So I disagree with you.
Well, Eric Bland, I didn't say I thought he would do it because I don't think he will, but not for the accurate reason you just pointed out. I think he's just chicken. I mean, look who he killed. Unarmed woman an unarmed son.
But he is a narcissist, so don't put anything past the narcissist. So you're right about that to discuss it, definitely, because he's a narcissist.
Well, he's also a career criminal.
Yes, he is. And all of his friends are criminals. Anybody that's not a criminal, just like him, like his dope dealer cousin Eddie, have left him or testified against him. Guys, not only is Alex Murdaugh in court today, in federal court for dozens of financial crimes, the only reason I care.
I wonder what's going on with cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie. I remember, I think we were on, I don't think we did it on YouTube, but on Switch. I think we did a cousin Eddie update or something. We kind of, cousin Eddie. I think I clipped it and put it on Twitter, but that shit's buried. I don't know, where would I find that anymore?
About that money is I want it to go to the victims' families. It's the only reason I care about it. But also, he is set to testify under oath, if you can believe anything this guy would ever say, in the case of Mallory Beach, teen girl now dead. Do you remember that case? Take a listen to our cut 232.
We just crashed in a
Yeah, he was released on bond over a botched scheme.
Wait, are you in the water or are you?
We're in the boat. We have someone missing.
Okay. Hang on 1 second, okay?
I'm calling in reference to a boat crash. There's 6 people on board. They currently have 1 missing. All right, it's in Archer's Creek, which is right there off of Paris Island. There's a bridge on Paris Island. They're underneath it. They crashed into the bridge.
And more where you hear Connor Cook talking, not a Murdaugh, because the Murdaugh was too drunk to talk. Take a listen to 216.
Oh, what? 911, where's your emergency? Hello? Police, fire, ambulance. Hello?
We're in a boat crash on Archer's Creek, the only bridge on Archer's Creek.
What's going on?
We're in a boat crash.
Are you in the water or are you?
What the hell happened here?
We're in the boat. We have someone missing.
At the helm of that boat, Paul Murdaugh, later gunned down by his father, which effectively cut off one line of legal pursuit against Paul Murdaugh and the Murdaugh estate. It was settled quietly after the murders, just as Alex Murdaugh had planned. But in that 911 call, you hear people screaming, you hear confusion. They realize Mallory Beach is no longer on the boat. Murdaugh, too drunk to call. Connor Cook calling in the 911 call. Jennifer Wood joining me from FitzNews.com. I was struck when I went out on the water with Water Rescue to look at those huge cement pilings that Paul Murdaugh sped right into, throwing Mallory Beach off into the water. She remained in the water for 3 days before her body was found, unrecognizable and bloated. Could you describe what happened in the crash, Jennifer Wood?
I believe I read he was at 30 miles an hour. And if you look at that creek and that bridge, I mean, that's so fast for a boat in that creek going through those pilings. There's not a lot of room. And I mean, he hit it hard. They were all injured to some degree. And Mallory unfortunately drowned. To
Dr. Michelle Dupree joining us, forensic pathologist, medical examiner, and also the author of Homicide Investigation Field Guide. You can find her at dmichelledupreemd.com. And she shot to the national forefront during the Alex Murdaugh trial and has taken part in the proceedings regarding the autopsy of teen boy Stephen Smith, also tangentially connected to the Murdaugh case. Dr. Dupree, thank you for being with us. You and I went out to the water. Describe what exactly happened to this teen girl Mallory Beach.
Well, Nancy, we did go out, and as you may recall, it's really a narrow part of the river. It's also very dangerous at night when there is no lights around. There was no running lights on the boat. There were 6 young adults in the boat. Paul, the driver, was going at an incredibly high rate of speed, especially for that area, and slammed into these concrete pier pilings, and it actually ejected at least 3 of these people out of the boat. Mallory, never to be found recently. I mean, it was just horrific. It was terribly stupid to be doing something like that. But as we know, Paul was very intoxicated.
And we know that the other friends on the boat were screaming and begging him to stop driving, to slow down. And he actually slapped one of the other girls on the boat. That the girl was begging him to stop or to slow down and let somebody else drive. Joining me, Phil Odom, boating accident reconstructionist. I don't like the word accident, boating crash, because when you get drunk, and these were underage, by the way, when you get this drunk and you start boating at high speeds for a boat, this is a very narrow waterway, and they were heading toward a bridge, and you would have to maneuver between 2 giant cement support beams to get under the bridge. He didn't do that. He sped right into these cement pilings. Phil, owner of H2O Investigations, former law enforcement, and you can find him at h2oinvestigations.com. Phil, thank you for being with us. I know you've studied the Mallory Beach boating crash, and right now the court has decided Alex Murdaugh will be forced to answer questions regarding that case. Hopefully, the Beach family will get a hold of some of that Murdaugh money before it all goes out to debtors to whom he owes money. So, Phil Odom, after you've analyzed the beach crash, what do you think?
I think that Paul Murdaugh was extremely intoxicated. There was a GPS unit that was on his vessel at the time, which indicated the last record of speed was 29 miles per hour. As Michelle stated, there was no lights on the bridge. I have not been out to the scene to know how narrow the pilings are from each other. However, from the pictures that I viewed, even during daylight hours, 30 miles an hour to try to go through those pilings is an unreasonable speed. So you mix those two, you just got a recipe for disaster.
Guys, we're talking about the horrible death of teen girl Mallory Beach. Take a listen to our cut 234, played by WJCL.
Authorities, search teams, friends, and family searched for an entire week. Until
911, where's your emergency?
we think we found her. Beach's body was found on March 3rd, 2019, in a marsh near the Broad River boat landing.
I spoke with the boat rescue that were called out the night of the crash, got up out of their beds in the middle of the night to start looking for Mallory's body, hopefully trying to find her still alive. And they searched for days until March 3, when her body is found.
He'll forget about the video first home and
to your favorite radio
for a bird and
I recall that Mallory Beach died of drowning, not from a blow to the head. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, Nancy, it does. She was probably obtunded. She had been drinking. She was thrown from the boat violently. She is in the water. She is probably struggling. She is taking water in. So, yes, chances are that she did drown. Even if she did hit her head, she would die most likely from the drowning, from taking in the water and not being able to get out.
I'm not quite sure how her body wasn't found. It was not from lack of trying for that many days. Chris McDonough, veteran homicide detective, her body was taken by the currents in that channel and moved fairly quickly. And there's a lot of growth, marshes, and tall grasses on the side of the water, and a perfect place for a body to lodge and be almost untraceable, unfindable.
Yeah, typically in a drowning situation like this, obviously the body immediately is going to start sinking. And if there is a current flow at the bottom of that river, then it will move that body typically in various directions. And there can be, places where the body would get lodged. And then once the body starts to, the gases start to expand, essentially what happens is the body, becomes buoyant. And it sounds like in this situation, she was under the water. We don't know how in terms of if she was unconscious, et cetera, but, Dr. Pre's assessment of that is 100%. And then when she comes up, she is discovered. And one other thing, Nancy, real fast, going back to Paul and Connor on the boat. Remember when they left that dock, they almost hit another bridge first. It's reported that Connor corrected him and got him through that bridge real fast, and that's when he started going in circles. And so there's a lot of emotion. He was just fired up, and that's when he took it out on his the other female on the boat there. So he not only hit one bridge, he almost hit two bridges that night.
Again, so many days passed before her body was found, and let me tell you, it was not for lack of trying. Take a listen to our cut 254 from WJCL.
The row of cars behind me are the friends and family of the missing teen who gathered here at 8 this morning to pray for her safe return. The Department of Natural Resources told WJCL 22 News that right now they have 7 dive crews, 2 helicopters, and about 10 patrol boats, all looking for 19-year-old Mallory Beach. The family told me today she disappeared after a boat she was riding in crashed here Sunday morning in Archer's Creek near the Paris Island Marine Depot. And the DNR also told me that they've had about 8 other agencies at the local and state level reaching out to aid in this search. And they say one of the biggest challenges in this search specifically is the changing conditions of where they're looking. Right now, they're working 12-hour shifts from 7 in the morning to 7 at night to find her.
Interesting that video actually captures Mallory Beach just before the crash, and it captures Paul Murdaugh. Drunk and stumbling. Take a listen to 255, our friends at Fox Carolina.
This surveillance video was captured near the New Day dock in Beaufort. You can see Beach here walking with her boyfriend. Also pictured friend Connor Cook, who made the 911 call that night, and Paul Murdaugh, who appears to be stumbling. Beach exits the frame last, seen smiling and laughing. The video was taken at 1:13 a.m. on February 24th, 2019, about an hour before the crash.
What bridge is it? Paul, what bridge is this? Paul, what bridge?
911, where's your emergency?
We're in a boat crash on Archer's Creek. We have someone missing.
And the immediate reaction of the other people on the boat to Paul Murdaugh is very telling. Take a listen to our cut 218 dash cam video.
Bro, you smiling like you're funny.
Oh, I remember this.
My girlfriend's gone, bro. You think it's funny?
Sit down.
Focus right hell.
Let me decipher what you just heard. You are hearing Anthony Cook, the boyfriend of Mallory Beach, saying, bro, you effing smile like it's effing funny. And Paul Murdaugh is just sitting there smiling. This is after Mallory Beach has been thrown overboard, hit her head on cement pilings, and ultimately drowns. And the cops say, sit down, and he screams, my effing girlfriend's gone, bro. You think it's effing funny? They make him sit down, and Cook says, I hope you rot in effing hell. Yeah. Now, another ominous premonition, I believe, is in our cut 217, where we hear everyone on the boat saying, he'll never get in trouble for this. Take a listen.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, you smiling like it's funny. Sit down. My girlfriend gone, bro. You think it's funny? You all know Alec Murdaugh? Oh, yeah, I know that name. That's his son. That's so driving the boat. Good luck.
To Eric Bland, high-profile lawyer out of the South Carolina jurisdiction, but practices all over, who was representing many of the victims connected to the Murdaugh family. That night, the people on the boat said he'll never pay for this. He's a Murdaugh.
Nancy, it's just, it's chilling. It was bone chilling for me just to hear that. I had forgotten that. And, you know, as the 2 years, or well, now the 4 years have elapsed, and we've seen who this family really is. They are completely, all of them, out of touch with regular society, with regular mores and values. It is, it's not surprising that a lot of these things are coming out now, and we're seeing them from Paul and Buster and obviously Alex. Maggie, we didn't see as much, but of course, no one really gave testimony about any bad qualities that Maggie had, and I'm not saying she had them, but we've seen Paul, Alex, and Buster. We've seen a little bit from the brothers. This is a family that is completely out of touch with the rest of society. There's no doubt about it.
And when you hear the actions of Alex Murdaugh the night of the crash, it will make your blood run cold. He goes to the hospital after these teens are raced to the hospital, and instead of trying to help them, he hovers over their beds, sneaks into their rooms to get them to change their testimony and not cooperate with police, as opposed to being concerned and out there looking for Mallory Beach. Karen Stark joining me, well-known psychologist, joining us out of Manhattan, a trauma and crime expert at KarenStark.com. That's
yeah. There's a lot of this stuff we saw in that documentary, Low Country. There's a lot of the details there already. They actually have video and stuff too that you can see him in the hospital, walking to the different rooms and stuff, talking to the kids.
Karen with a C. Karen, is it within a family? Do children learn this behavior from their parents?
Well, of course, Nancy, because listen to what's going on. You're saying he's out of touch, but he really wasn't, or someone said he's out of touch. He's not out of touch. He knew enough to show up at that hospital. And here you're talking about a missing girl, right? And he's running around from room to room trying to make sure that nobody testifies against his son. So he's very much in touch with protecting his son and making sure they're not caught. And that's what their family was like. They pushed everything to make sure that things worked on their side for their benefit. And they understood how to do that with the law, how to manipulate, how to just do whatever they could to make sure that people would not be able to testify if they possibly could do that.
Now, when you hear the damage to the boat, you're going to be shocked that on the scene, no breathalyzer was administered to Paul Murdaugh. Remember, these people, they're at the scene.
Oh, it ended. Oh shit! There's another guy that was tased. I don't know if you can show this shit. Can you show these tased things?
To believe that competency is an issue in this case.
Well, I was going to say,
I would.
This mother.
Oh, so they got like a shock value. You can't really see. They said murder suspect outburst in court. Okay, let's see. So I didn't know they had these devices readily available. But he is tied down, though. I don't know what's he going to do tied down, but... Did they fire this judge, too? Who's the shocker? Who does the shocking?
I do have reason to believe that competency is an issue in this case.
Well, I have something to say.
I would.
This nut mother son. Ah!
Bush. Damn. Subdue his ass. Shut up. Get back in your cage. No. No. Let me check here real quick. What do we got for notifications? So the Alex thing, I think there's going to be a bolt thing in August, which I got to see how long that trial is going to be. Somebody, Kayla, is that real? It is real. That's amazing. I hope we get to see a trial where they have that device on the person. Subdue the person. Phone's about to die. Charge it. Let me see. I think I have another notification. I do. I have one more. So yeah, I'm going to save the last notification in case we get a chase tonight. I'm not too hopeful. We actually missed the chase earlier. We could check that out. We missed the chase earlier. And I was saying on Discord, it's kind of funny that even when I miss a chase, I don't miss a chase because I'm not missing shit, really. It was like a really short chase. It used to be a thing back in the day. Like, you miss a chase, and it's like, oh, man, no. Like, oh, my, I can't believe that. No. Now it's like, Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's a shame. I mean, if I missed a good one, I'd be sad, but I think there's two that I missed that were like small chases, short chases. Let's see. I think she sent me the video. ABC was live. There's a couple of pit maneuvers, I think. Oh, shit. I didn't want to do that. Oops. There's no volume? Oh, I thought you guys could see the screen. Good. Couldn't see it. No volume the whole chase? Damn. That's rough. Okay. Let me see if on the YouTube page they have it. Let's see real quick. Mm. 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago. They have clips. They don't have full chase 4 hours ago. It's 5 minutes. Even this don't have audio. Okay, so it's no audio chase. Damn. What are they doing? Going in circles? Facebook seems like it has the longest one, though YouTube, I think they have the better quality one. They're just going around the roundabout.
Around.
Oh, there we go.
He drove up on an embankment, but was able to maintain control of the vehicle.
Something else.
And now you see, as we're watching the chase.
That's YouTube. Was that Prius? Or Tesla? No, that's a. What that is? What that is? What the? What the heck? Oh, so did he hit the guardrail? It looks like he hit the guardrail. Or whatever that is. Lord. Silent chase. ASMR chase. We're breezing through. 90 miles an hour. It looks like he doesn't have too great control of the vehicle either. He's just like bobbing and weaving, can't really make a decision. Damn. That's just like he's going to lose control at any moment. And then to do that by a truck, maybe in hopes that he was going to try to like whoop-de-doo the cops. Those trucks, I always think about Final Destination when I drive by that shit. I mean, I do try to breeze by them quick, but I want to make sure the car's under control. I'm not going to be fucking shifting left and right, passing that shit. Oh, he's really trying to get away. Desperate. That's like a Prius, yeah, right? I guess those little things can haul ass too, I guess. Maybe it's like the newer versions. Oh, he got stuck. Right there's the time. Ooh, oh, there. Push him. Yeah, push his ass. Let's go. He just keeps it going. All right, okay. Oh, he's stuck there though. Oh, he made the turn. Oh, another one. Oh, we probably would have had a little fun watching this. Oh, hit the dirt and everything. Okay. Still going. Dedication. Determination. Methamphetamine. Yo, what is he waving to? Sorry. Or he's like, hi. Oh, the bumper's coming off. All right. Let's see. Damn, that's just oof. I wonder what the want was. What did he do? Or running. That boy is running. And those SUVs are really pressing up on his ass, not letting him go. So that was 2 pits so far.
Just to let you folks know, as we watch on streaming, we are going to go on to ABC 7 here in just a few moments. So we will kind of reset, and as you watch us, you'll probably hear some things repeated. We're breaking into coverage here on Eyewitness News as you see a police pursuit, a suspect driving into oncoming lanes. It has been a very dangerous pursuit over the last 5 minutes or so. We've been watching this on our streaming channel, ABC 7 Los Angeles. I'm Philip Palmer, and we're watching this vehicle. The suspect driving this car is believed to have tried to steal a catalytic converter. And sheriffs out of Ventura County began pursuit. CHP began pursuit. As he exited at DeSoto, he became trapped by a vehicle. When the light turned and the vehicle got out of the way, the suspect was, there was an attempted pit maneuver, and they thought they had him controlled. He had flipped around. He drove up on an embankment, but was able to maintain control of the vehicle. And now you see, as we're watching, the chase on Surface Street. So the pit didn't work in Woodland Hills, but now we are continuing. It looks like Ventura Boulevard in Woodland.
The cop even went on the wrong side of the road. He said, wait, let me see.
The vehicle, and now you see, as we're watching, the chase on Surface Street. So the pit didn't work in Woodland Hills, but now we are continuing. It looks like Ventura Boulevard in Woodland Hills. So you see an SUV behind, and they're coming up on Winnetka now. The pursuit speeds are at about 50 miles an hour, so not overly aggressive, but you can see driving into the turn lanes, into oncoming traffic, the suspect showing complete disregard for those around, and we've watched this dangerous pursuit on the freeway, now on to surface streets, and you can see as congestion begins to build here, this becomes more dangerous, driving in the turn lane, as you can see.
Oh shit! What happened? Oh hell no!
Hockey is a team game. It's my job to make sure.
I'm gonna figure out. Hell no!
anybody who might not see this coming up on them. Now driving against a light into traffic through an intersection, slows down at least. But it does appear as if Highway Patrol is right on this suspect, who, again, was part of a suspected catalytic converter theft. It started in Ventura County in the Thousand Oaks area and has now gotten its way to Woodland Hills and on Ventura Boulevard. So here we are at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:09, and traffic is going to begin to pick up a little bit as we continue to chase this suspect. We do not know if this person is in any way armed, but the CHP is trying to get LAPD involved in this, but LAPD at this point is not doing that. So we've lost from Air 7 the image just a second with that building, but you can see CHP vehicles right on this person's tailgate, and we're going to see if he slows down enough to get another chance at a pit. Going through another intersection here, the traffic has at least lightened up a bit, but the damage on the bumper is from the pit maneuver just moments ago. So now we see the suspect in the right turn lane. Two officers able to back him in a little bit. Now we've got another.
There you go. Let's go.
So they're really getting aggressive here. So now we've blocked off the forward momentum. See if he can go backwards. Arms. Officers have pulled out their weapons. They are looking at the officer on the right, looks to be less than lethal weapons, but they are telling this person to get out of this vehicle right now. So he immediately puts his arms out of the window. They are talking to each other, trying to take control of this. There is nothing behind the vehicle at this point. So there's still the possibility that this suspect could back up. Looks like more less than lethal rounds have come up with other officers. But we don't know necessarily what they are telling him to do, but they are trying to get him to get out of the vehicle, probably throw the keys out at this point. So the suspect has been pitted here almost a third time, because they pitted him twice at DeSoto, but they were able to block him off. This is where we were talking about a moment ago. He just was able to go. The officers from Highway Patrol were able to pit him, spun him around, but he kept going. They tried it again, put him up on the embankment. So now you see the live images on your left. The suspect's got one hand out. He's now opening the door, following the commands of officers. He is not completely surrounded, but officers do have this under control, it looks like. So he is going to, they're going to give him the directions to step away from the vehicle. Looks like he's limping a little bit. Not sure if that is an injury from the driving.
He going through the cops now for the what they call it? Whatever they call it, the pit maneuver.
Or if it was something that was already a pre-existing condition for this person. But he is now going to show officers that he is not armed, and it does look as if we have this one under control. So we are going
to the canine.
Release this.
He's limping weird. Get the canine
back to our regularly scheduled programming, I believe. Okay, so this is over. We will continue to stream it until its conclusion on our ABC7 Los Angeles app. This is breaking news of pursuit. Person who had tried to steal catalytic converters in Ventura County now taken into custody in Woodland Hills. I'm Philip Palmer. Don't forget to join us for Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. I think we got I guess they don't use real guns in California. They got to use non-lethal. So this is like a non-lethal shotgun. I wonder what kind of pellets, I guess, right? Or like a beanbag or something. There you go. So that's what we missed earlier today. I mean, I don't think
so.
It was kind of fun, but it was really short. Probably not worth a notification. So, yeah, I guess that's it. And honestly, by the time I would have started up the stream and got to the computer, probably would have missed probably more than half of it earlier. He needs a wheelchair now. Less than lethal, isn't it? Air rifle? They should they shoot air pressure and stuff with like a air thing. Let's see, what's an air rifle? An air rifle is a compressed air gun that fires pellets down the rifle barrel. Okay. Originally used in warfare, air guns are commonly used in target shooting as toys and as beginner guns for children. Here you go, kids. I know a lot of people do teach their kids that, but here you go. Have fun. All right. I guess I'm going to get out of here for now. I guess. Nerf guns. Yeah, so I'm going to save the last notification in case there's a chase tonight. I'll jump on. Next, so the things I got to put here to August. Boat trial. I feel like there was something else to talk about earlier. I'm gonna have to get somebody to work on the dates for me. I'm gonna have all these notes and maybe I can send it, work on something together, because there was also Maricela Botello, something coming up, I thought this month. August boat trial. So we got in June 9th, Gonzalez family and the Associated Press. June 27th, evidentiary hearing. October 2nd, the Koberger trial. There was something before that we just mentioned earlier, right? What trial was that? Some small, oh no, I guess the August thing. I thought there was something else. We got the August thing. August boat trial. I do think this next week, though, we'll chill one day and watch the opening statements for this ex-football player and decide if we're interested in watching either the trial or just some of the highlights. We'll make a decision from there. Shirley says, "Did you hear about the 5-year-old, the police officer? What? The 5-year-old the police think the mother killed in Colorado?" No, I haven't heard about that yet. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Oh yeah, Dentist Florida, Dentist Guy Florida. When is that? Dentist Guy in Florida. Was that recent or is that already done? Pre-trial. Sled. I know, right? I'd like to let some time pass for another child trial. Yeah. Yeah, the football one, I think maybe Monday or I don't know. If I'm bored this weekend, maybe I'll come on. I think I'm gonna chill this weekend, but maybe Monday we can do like opening statements for that trial, because people keep telling me it's good. I don't know. But yeah, a teabag. I know, right? Says thanks for streaming, homie. Miss you guys. Can't wait to the next trial. What do we do, man? There's nothing to do until the trial. Now we can just fill in little stories in the meantime. I probably need to cover some more current stories too. I don't know what's going on. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace. Love you. Adios. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop.